Do you guys know the empath mantra? The empath mantra goes like this. This is not my thought. This is not my thought, okay? It's probably a thought that I picked up from somebody else around me, okay? That's the vibe. Now, I want to start off with this, and maybe this might jar you and be like, whoa, what is he talking about? Empath? Okay. Oh, spirituality. Oh, that's what he's talking about. You got to understand, I'm here for a very specific reason today. It's because I want to talk to you guys about the inner critic, the inner voice, and self-attack. A lot of us attack ourselves in our own internal world, okay? This is from Eckhart Tolle, right? I like to listen to Eckhart Tolle or Michael Singer or Adyashanti or Muji or any of these, spiritual teachers. Just because their language is different, just listen to the way that they speak, okay? You just allow everything to happen, okay? Like, listen to the way that they're speaking, right? It's just like a slow, solemn, compassionate fervor in the background, right? This caring frequency of, I am here, you are guided, you are safe, you're all right, you are whole, you're one. So Eckhart Tolle said, never attack an inner state because it starts to stack on the resistance that it creates, right? If you're like, oh, I can't believe that I'm angry right now, right? That's more anger on top of the anger. Let's say you're sad and you feel guilty about your sadness, then that's another layer of emotion to work through. You get what I'm saying? So when you attack an inner state, there is more resistance on top of the resistance, okay? That someone pulls their hair out, right? Tikachotolomania or whatever it's called, right? I don't know the exact terminology, right? But I had certain clients who've been through that, and even, I believe, one of my exes used to do that. Anyway, that ripping off of the hair, right? Let's say that they do that unconsciously, or they pull on the hair of their like eyebrows or whatever, right? One is you can put lotion on your hands so when you go towards doing that or ripping your hair out, let's say I'm ripping my mustache out, I smell the lotion as a reminder for me to calm down. Calmate, okay? So let's say they're ripping their hair out and I tell them, why the fuck are you ripping your hair out? That's so annoying. That's so ugly. Like, why would you even... What that disrespect will do to them, it will make them shut down. It'll make them go more inwards, first of all. It'll make them feel smaller than they actually are, that their capabilities are, right? So this is why it's a responsibility for parents not to keep attacking, verbally, attacking, abusing their kids verbally. Let's say that I told that person who's ripping their hair out, hey, you have really pretty hair. Did I ever tell you that? You know that I find it fascinating that you do this, like you kind of rip your hair, you know what I mean? It sort of makes you you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't hate it, I don't like it. It is what it is, you know? And I think it's kind of cool, it suits you. I'm just kidding, it doesn't suit you, but that energy, if I went with that energy of acceptance, of love, of a little bit of humor, of compassion, you'll notice how much that other person's energy will shift just because of yours. You might sit back and be like, I have no say in my life. Everything is run by my parents or my teachers or my government or this person I have to blame. But if you really sit with yourself, man, if you take care of your own internal state, you don't know how much healing that you can access on this planet. You don't know yet. Our inner critic usually comes from an external critic. What do I mean by that? The voice of your teachers, the voice of your parents, the voice of authority, the voice of, some next door neighbor, the voice of some image or celebrity in social media, whatever it is, right? It's your surrogate replacement for somebody else's thought. When I started off this video and I said, this is not my thoughts, I don't mean that in the sense of responsibility, like I'm lacking responsibility, so I'm just gonna say that this is not my thought, right? More so, it's a disidentification from the noise in my mind that is clustering and starting to stack on itself. I realize that a lot of the times I'm so up in my mind a lot that I drink caffeine, okay, to try to keep myself energized. But when you are in presence, You don't need caffeine. That's the thing. That's why I'm gonna try to, like, I'm drinking caffeine, and it's fantastic. But I recognize that at one level, this is just, a thing that's pulling me away from my mission. We use these exogenous substances to try to make us feel good, when naturally it is our birthright to be in perfection of bliss. Recognize that presence gives you more energetic capacity and capability to project yourself outwards instead of inwards in the head. This is what will help you to socialize with people as well. Instead of focusing in the self-consciousness, or what does my hair look like, or what am I doing this, did I say that right, I wonder if they're angry at me. Instead of going inwards, you want to go outwards. Okay, what am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I touching? What am I feeling? Going into the mindfulness pockets of the experience. By doing that, you are distancing yourself also from the demonic or the parasitic thoughts that just keep attacking you or nagging at you. Like, hey, remember, you're still not good enough. Hey, did you forget? Hey, did you forget that you're not good enough? It's like that, right? And so you go, man, stop it, go away. It's like a bug, right? Let's say you're meditating and a fly is buzzing around, right? And you're going near your ear, right? Trying to get in here. Oh man, that's so annoying, right? You just want to flick it away, right? And then it goes near the third eye, maybe it lands here, and you're just like, oh man, okay. I guess I have to somehow relate this back to my third eye awakening or something like that. Maybe the fly really wants me to awaken my kundalini, and you have some sort of like human justification for that or whatever, right? But you're still in your head. That's the thing, you're still in your head in that moment. You're trying to justify it, categorize it, logically evaluate the situation, whereas you just need to let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. You need to let it be, yo. Okay? Just allow the fly to bug you for a while. Maybe you'll sit here for 2 minutes, maybe an hour. Doesn't matter. You're not attached to the bug. You're just attached to the feeling of the bug on your skin or the noises that it's making. And you're just externalizing the internal, right? You're just externalizing. You're seeing, okay, what is going on there? What is going on there? What is going on there? Okay, interesting. Okay. And all the thoughts, I want you to imagine, give your thoughts a metaphor of something that you really enjoy. So if you enjoy writing, imagine that your thoughts are in writing mode, like your brain is writing. If you enjoy carpentry, imagine that your mind is like woodwork or wood carvings, and you have to throw some wood away after a while, and then you're just going on to the next thing to build, right? Really like gaming or video gaming, you imagine it's like a Twitch stream chat, right? Your mind is just going like bum, 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 one comment over another comment. Use the visualization of your craft to peer through the glasses of your craft and then see your problem from there, in that standpoint. How would a musician view your problem right now? You see? How would being an artist, how can you look at your problem through the lens of an artist or a painter or creative? The reason why we as culture, we just rely on these substances. Hallelujah, okay? I'm drinking caffeine right now. The reason why we're so drawn to these things is because, man, all of these things like alcohol, drugs, all of these things, man, they're just there to get you out of your head, temporarily, to just feel that numbness or that sense of when you're kind of tipsy or drunk, you're not really caught up in your thoughts that much anymore. You feel a sense of numbness, right? You're just kind of warm and numb and gooey inside and sort of funky. I mean, different people respond to alcohol differently. That's true too. And a lot of drugs can be an amplifier to the already existing personality that is within those people. But man, alcohol and drugs is so appealing to those people who have those negative loops in their mind, right? They're trying to overanalyze, they're trying to get attached to the thought, they're trying to control everything, right? That's another thing that I've noticed is my mind loves to control things, right? Controller, that's your mind, bro, okay? It's not Drake singing about it. That's your freaking mind. Your mind is the controller. It wants to control. That's the ego. It wants power. It wants control. It wants dominion over the realm of your own space. And so you take in a little bit of this poisonous substance known as alcohol to slow down, right? To slow down the mind, the fast-thinking mind. So we poison drip ourselves with different substances and things because it slows down our brain. The people who struggle the most are the smartest people on planet Earth. Let me tell you that. The geniuses are the most neurotic. Why? They're so in their heads all the time. Okay? It's tough for me to actually sit and be with my body. It's tough. It's really difficult. It feels like I'm gonna die, like I'm going through a rebirth. And that's why being in Bali, I was so fully embodied in my experience. I felt like I was dying every day. But that is actually what healed me. In this world of results, it's normal to think that I'm gonna take so much action that I'm gonna shut off the logical mind, right? That kind of makes sense, but that's not the only solution. There are ways to access and make yourself go through a training wheel. Like, what is a mantra besides a training wheel, right? That gets you to this awareness bubble around that one word or phrase, right? Or image or whatever it is, right? Let's say the mantra was tree and you had an image of the tree, right, in your mind. You're saying that mantra over again, tree, 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 tree. Like, let's say you do it like 100 times, right? And you've been doing it for a while. Let's say you do it for like a week or so. Maybe a month goes past. Now a year goes past. Now your guru who comes up to you and tells you, hey, you can drop that mantra now. Why? Because if you drop that mantra, you've been basically facilitating a way for your mind to latch onto one thing, right? And now that it's latched onto that one thing and you get rid of it, what is your mind now? Blank. Pure presence, awareness. You see what I'm saying? And that's the power of the mantra. This is Eckhart Tolle's tech, by the way. So you want that pure, clean hit of euphoria that is natural, that is organic, and that is the flow state, okay? You can get into the flow state using substances, microdosing, getting into the zone like that, but it's not ideal. Because why? Because you're overcooking, you're frying your brain to try to get there, you see? It's like a dirty high rather than a clean buzz. Meditation puts you into the now. 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 Okay? Dissolve all the rest. And just have now. Dissolve all the rest. Oh, but this is so stupid and did I leave something in the oven? Now. But I wonder if the cat is sitting on the porch correctly. Is it gonna fall? Now. But I wonder if my next door neighbor is buying the latest plasma screen TV so that I can be... Now. Now. Dissolve the rest. It's all projection, it's all noise, it's all trash talking, okay? It's all trash talking. My mentor, AZD, calls it the golden ratio of the mind, right? Where you can hold beautiful, crystallized, magnetic, potent, positive imagery and hold it in your mind, right? And constantly drop all the negative away. Let it fade away, let it dissolve until all that's left with is pure potentiality, pure presence, unegoic awareness. You see, a lot of us, we try to compensate, okay? We try to compensate. If we're not taking action already, we will try to compensate using our intelligence. But sometimes that compensation can be your greatest strategy for personality and survival, right? This is a really bad example, but let's say that you don't have the greatest size in terms of your genitals, right, as a man. It's kind of small, let's just say. I mean, not that I can relate to that, but in any case, shut up, Zoom, okay? That's what my mind is telling me. Anyway, let's say you have a small package, okay? And if you zoom in on that fact that you have a small package and that is what is eating up your internal world, right? In a sense, it's like the only thing you can think about. It's like, oh man, it's too small, they won't like it, or whatever it is that your mind is telling you, right? You got to compensate, bro. You got to use your tongue, you know? You got to get better at just like, you know, maybe fingering or something like this, right? You gotta establish like there were different ways for me to get the end results. Like I'm gonna work with it. Of course, you can try all these other things to try to, you know, get a penis pump or try to, you know, go for the dick pills that are obviously like really messed up. A lot of them are, you know, in a sense. Really bad for you as well. Like definitely stay away from yohimbe. I had to learn that back in the day, like when I was in college. Definitely stay away from yohimbe. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but that made me just like, you know, my heart start beating fast and like duk, 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 duk. It was like a weird experience, bro. I highly don't recommend that. It made me nauseous. Maybe you'll have a different reaction to it, but I don't recommend it at all. Right? And you can try jelqing, and then you can try all these different things like listening to binaurals to try to grow it, or subliminals. But then all you're doing is stacking on the belief that I'm not good enough, that it's not big enough. You see what I'm saying? Whereas if you already had the thought of, yeah, it's fine, you know? It is what it is. It's what I came into the world with, you know? This is a weird topic. But in any case, I hope you guys are understanding that. Maybe some of you guys resonate. You're like, yeah, I get it. You know? I get it. And I'm going to try to establish a different protocol for this. I'm not going to keep falling for the same like scams and you know, things online that are telling me that I'm not good enough. Because that's what marketing is, right? A lot of marketing out there is a rhetoric that's telling you you're not good enough, bro. You need to buy my product and then you'll feel whole. Okay? Get into a repetitive non-taxing activity. Let's say you're going out and socializing, right? You see a group of people, you don't have to go say hi right away, right? You can tap your foot to the music, some repetitive non-taxing activity, right? Some girls, they control their hair. You know, someone could start just like moving their body, getting on the dance floor and doing one repetitive movement over and over again. People are going, what the heck is he doing? But I'm just charging up. I'm going Super Saiyan mode soon, okay? Your inner voice is your verbal working memory, right? And so at some level, it helps you with your self-control, right? You can manufacture your inner voice and make it sound very specific. You can speak to yourself with a booming, loud voice, like a deep voice, like God, to yourself, and use that to maneuver your reality in the now. Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever considered that? Have you tried that out? Or do you try it once and it feels ridiculous and so you just throw it to the side? Right? This is what usually our general pattern is to do as a human being. Oh, if it's not helping me immediately, I immediately get rid of it. Okay? That's our mentality. That's our instant gratification society that we live in, bro. That is it. Why do you think my reels do so much better than my actual, you know, long form text posts and stuff? Right? It just makes sense. We're hardwired. And we're like, oh, the quickest thing for my survival right now in that moment. Oh, I'm going to go click a reel. Right? Oh, that's a pretty dress. Oh, that's also a pretty dress. And then you go to like the 17th page or something. Oh, yeah, by the way, that's also a pretty dress. What are you doing? Why aren't you making pretty dresses? Why aren't you putting your own reels out there? Why aren't you, you know, you gotta create more than you consume. That I keep telling people this, okay? You've gotta create way more than you consume. You're consuming way too much. You're over consuming things rather than creating things, generating things from within, expressing things, sharing it with the world, rather than holding it internally and trying to think about different ways to go about it. Man, that's not the path. That's not the path working. You know what you gotta do, now roll with it. You know what you gotta do, just go with it. The world is weird enough, man. You don't need to add more weirdness in your own mind and start condemning yourself and talking bad and talking smack about yourself and roasting yourself, okay? That's not the greatest strategy for you. I could totally roast myself right now, you know? But it's not from a level of self-hate. It's from a ridiculousness. Like I remember, you know, they were playing the Backstreet Boys at the club back in Bali, right? And, you know, this girl came up to me and then she was like kind of dancing to the music, looked sideways, and I just said something like it was almost like a weird comment about myself, right? I said something like, I'm the Indian boy band member that got kicked out of that group, actually. NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys, whatever they were playing, right? Some boy band shit, right? I don't know what they were playing. But she cracked up, right? She genuinely cracked up at that comment. And then that's when I can stack, because I noticed that if in an interaction, right, someone is responding well to me or my energy, that gives me a go-to that they are friendly, that they want to talk, that they want to have fun, right? They're open. They're not closed. There's a lot of people who go out, they're also very closed, okay? You'll notice who is open and who is closed. Just based on the body language and their beingness, how they can own themselves through the club as they walk through. You'll notice this, right? As you go out more, you see more social interactions, you'll notice that there are certain people who hold themselves differently. When you find yourself overreacting to some silly, simple shit, you know what I mean? Like just getting tense around very small matters. Like, I can't believe you need to check yourself in that moment. Why are you yelling at yourself or that person or what's going on? Take a breath. Let's learn to look at this from an angle that's not so, hysterical. Let's zoom out and let's look at it now. Let's get your baseline consciousness down to a level where you're calm and you're in presence again. So then you can accurately discern what this situation actually means. So when people want to kill themselves, or commit suicide, I don't think they want to kill themselves. I think they want to kill the avatar that they've generated, their egoic construct. So it's a self-loathing, but is it really a destruction of the self? Who is the self that you're destroying? That was Eckhart Tolle's whole thing, right? He said, I cannot live with myself any longer. What do you think that means? Who is the I that I can't live with? Who is the myself? Okay, and then he started to get it. So the self is not this host anatomy, meat vessel, weird spacesuit thing. The self is a very, very interesting concept. That once you start to explore spirituality, you'll start to get that I am not the self. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind that keeps chattering away. Okay? Chatting away during chaturanga, said Mr. Chatterjee. So simply, the way to stop self-attack is to understand that you're not worthy of attack. Why would you attack something that you're not afraid of? You're still afraid of yourself. That's why you keep attacking yourself. You're an unknown. You're a weird entity, right? You're like a question mark. So of course you're gonna keep attacking yourself because you don't know what this is or what I am. Good. You're not supposed to know who you are. That's the whole journey and beauty of life, is to discover that. And maybe you're on a channel like this trying to figure it out too. When you signed the contract to come here on Earth, it was evident that you were not supposed to know who the fuck you were, okay? Like, that is a part of this. That's the amusement park ticket that you gotta pay to get in. They can hate from outside the club, but they can't even get in, okay? You gotta be a bouncer of your thoughts like that. You can't even get in, man. You can't even get in. How you gonna hate from outside the club when you can't even get in, okay? That's the attitude, okay? Doom, 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 doom. Okay, that's the attitude. Yellow, bottle, okay? You guys know, right? So that, when you carry that vibe, when you carry that frequency alive within you, within your aura, within your manifest destiny, within whatever you want to call this thing, right? When you are there, you start to activate yourself, your portal, in such a way that you will be the most monumental result of a human being on this planet, an optimal Flomo sapien. That is what I call it. If you're interested in my program, go sign up right away. What are you waiting for even? Like, why did I have to get all the way to the end of this video to tell you that? Yo, sign up for my program. It's lit. And a lot of people got benefit from it, right? Like, do I really need to wait this long to tell you that? Yes! Yes, I do. Thank you. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. And may we never be the same again. Let's go.